Subscribe.
Everyone expects a certain reaction when you leave a stable career. Sadness, fear, some dramatic moment of doubt. People kept asking me, aren't you scared? And honestly, no. Leaving engineering didn't feel like a loss. It felt like exhaling after holding my breath for 5 years. Oh my God. I want to tell you why, because I don't think enough people say this part out loud. Here's something I don't say enough. Software engineering was never actually my first choice. It was the practical choice, the one that made sense on paper, the one that came with a stable paycheck and a title people respected the second I said it. It was the only offer I got after I graduated, the one that would sponsor me. So I took it. And I'm not ungrateful for it because it gave me a lot. But I built a career around what made sense, not around what actually pulled at me. So when I finally stepped away from it, I wasn't losing an identity I'd fought my whole life to build. I was setting down something I had been carrying out of practicality. It was heavy as fuck. And I think people assume that leaving something stable has to come with grief. For me, it came with room to breathe. After my maternity leave, like 4 days before I had to resume work, I had a headache for those 4 days until the 2 days after I resumed work and I put in my 2 weeks leave. That's when the headache went away. I didn't want to do it again, even though I was mentally trying to, my body did not let me. For the first time in years, it wasn't just optimizing for the safe next step. I was actually asking myself what I wanted, not just what made sense. And honestly, when your whole adult life has already required you to reinvent yourself more than once, walking away from one more stable thing doesn't feel as terrifying as people assume. I've started over before and I know I can do it again. I want to be honest about something. This MBA, this project management path, it's not my finish line. It's not even necessarily where I end up. I'm treating it like an experiment. I'm learning, I'm building a new skill, I'm figuring out what fits. But I'm not pretending I have it all mapped out because I don't. I've stopped pretending that certainty is required before you're allowed to move forward. Here's the honest part. There's a field that genuinely calls to me, and it's not the one that pays the most. It's teaching, specifically becoming a high school teacher and teaching coding basics, Java, the fundamentals, and the same way I taught as a TA in college. That job didn't pay much, but when a student I tutored came back and told me they passed their exam because of the extra hour we spent going over something they're stuck on, the feeling was unmatched. That was a real impact. And I don't think there's anything more impactful than teaching the next generation, something that actually changes what they believe they're capable of. So the plan loosely is to finish my MBA after my son turns 1 and I stop breastfeeding, and then look into getting my teaching certificate. It's not decided, but it's the thing that keeps quietly calling me. So when we move to Texas in October, I might just register to get my teaching certificate, the fast-paced one for people with MBA and bachelor's degree. If I'm being fully honest, what I actually want right now isn't a perfect 5-year plan, it's roots. I've spent so much of my life moving, adjusting, starting over in new places with new people, figuring things out with no map. What I'm praying for now is direction, that God intervenes and makes the next step clear and eventually a place to actually stabilize in, not another reinvention somewhere to finally stay. Like, I just want to stay. I don't have the whole plan figured out, and for the first time, I'm actually okay with that. Not really, though, because I've been trying to get my mind off looking for a job or applying for a job and just waiting. Like, literally, all I have to wait for is for my second baby to turn 1 year old, and then I can move forward. And I'm itching so badly to do something. If you're in a season of experimenting instead of arriving, I would love to hear about it in the comments. And if you have any advice for me, definitely leave that in the comment. I love to have that conversation with you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.